What if I told you that a very popular cartoon today was actually inspired by real demons? Well, on this episode, I'm interviewing a missionary, Don Shire, and he tells some testimonies that are going to shock you. He traveled around with a witch doctor who gave his life to Christ, and he shares some incredible testimonies about what's really going on behind the scenes in the spiritual realm. We also get to hear some incredible things that have been achieved through Don Shire's international ministry. And you get to hear how God has given him a very unique way to reach the most remote tribes in the world using a trumpet. This is a quick but a deep interview. You're not going to want to miss it, so make sure you stick around to the end. Hello, welcome. I've got with me here a trumpet missionary, Don Shire.
Musicianary,
I like that. Well, we were down here at the 30th annual Kelowna Sing, and I just got done listening to you rock some trumpet. It was incredible. And so you've agreed to tell us some of your stories here. And, it's really an unconventional approach, and I just love how you're using your gift to spread the kingdom and to do God's work. So tell us a little bit about what you're up to. And I know you got an amazing story about a witch doctor too. So give us clued into what's going on.
Well, many years ago, I said, Lord, please forgive me. I was living without him. I was going to church every Sunday, but it came to a point where I knew I had to make a decision to really be committed or not. And I just said, Lord, forgive me. If you can still use me, show me where. And as we stand here today, it's now 36 countries later.
Wow.
And some of them multiple times. And the Lord just keeps opening doors. And what's interesting is the trumpet that just opens doors. It speaks every language. I can go to Africa, into villages that have never seen a trumpet before. And the Muslim chiefs or the witch doctors or voodoo priests, they'll let me in because I'm from America, and they've never seen a trumpet before. And what I do is I just share from my heart and share Christ. And we've been planting churches in Ghana and Zambia, and that's what I do. The trumpet is my tool. I go where God opens doors. That's why I'm here this weekend.
Wow.
They invited me.
That's amazing. So tell us this story about the witch doctor. Now, that's what really got my attention when I just said, wait a minute.
It is.
And you talked about Noah's Ark and my wife and I, the Ark Encounter.
If you've been to the Ark, once you get up towards the end of the tour, on one of the top floors, there's this maze that you go through that shares how the Bible has been taken into the world. And in one of those cubbies is a life-size cutout of Chief Shoefoot. Chief Shoefoot was a very good friend of mine. He's with the Lord now. But when I would go to the jungle to visit my missionary friends, he was one that I just got to know very, very well. And I'll tell you, this guy would stand there when visiting villages would come that were demon worshipers. He would just look at them and he would say, you think you're so powerful with your spirits? Here I am. Greater is he that is in me than he that is in the world. Throw them at me. There's nothing you can do to me.
Wow.
This guy had such an impact and such a ministry to his own people, the Yanomama tribe. And I used to go up and down the river with him, with my trumpet, go into villages that have never even heard anything like that before. And again, they would all come, the only show in town, and he would share the gospel. So
how did he come to? So he was a witch doctor. Tell us about that, or what's the transition?
Yeah,
that's quite a change.
Yeah.
So,
matter of fact, if you're an internet person, which obviously you must be if you're watching this right now, if you will Google Chief Shoefoot, I'll never go back. If you just Google that, Chief Shoefoot, I'll never go back. It will bring up a video that I did with him many years ago, and he will share his testimony on how he came to Christ. But the Reader's Digest version, I guess, would be missionaries came to his village, and he knew all about God. He knew there was a great creator and lived in a beautiful place, but his demons had told him that, yes, he exists, but he's your enemy. Wow. And he hates your people, and you need us to protect you from him because he eats your babies. And whenever a child would die, now this is kind of weird stuff, all right?
We're ready.
But you gotta watch this video to hear his story. But he used to take drugs when he was a witch doctor, And when someone would die, somehow he would join his spirits and chase the spirit of the dead person. It could be a child, it could be an adult. And he said that whenever a child would die, that they would chase it to this place where the enemy God lives. And that he said they would go so far, and he said the light would be so intense. He said it was like coming up out of the bottom of a river, but he said they would get to a point where they were afraid they would burn because the light was so intense. And here's the part I love. The noise was so loud of all the spirits there worshiping this enemy God that his spirits would tremble. They would come back, and then he would tell the family, I'm sorry, but he ate your child.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
You know, we've interviewed on this show as well missionaries that went to the cannibal tribes in Democratic Republic of Congo, and so we've heard some stories too about witch doctors appearing in rooms in the middle of the night and
it's
all
just
kinds
amazing.
of things.
Yeah.
And now you did some traveling with him, you said, in the U.S., or was that just abroad?
I brought a friend down there with me who wrote a book about him called Spirit of the Rainforest.
Oh, wow.
And so he came with on book tours, and I would travel with him and the author, and he would share his testimony in churches, a lot of times in universities, and just an amazing testimony.
Wow.
And there's just so much. You could fill another book of the stories from that. But I'll share one quick story, and some of you might not like this one. But a church sent a bunch of children's books down to the jungle to my missionary friend, who has 3 boys. And when Shoefoot went over to the house, he looked at the books, and he said, "Why are you letting your children read the books about the spirits?" I thought, and how do you have pictures of them? I thought you couldn't see them. And Mike said, "What do you mean? This is just Pokemon books. These are things that the kids play with these days." And Shoefoot said, "I know those spirits."
No
And
way.
he knew their personalities. And he said, "Those are spirits we give our children because they don't have a lot of power, but we give those spirits to our children to introduce them to the spirit world."
Wow. I mean, we all know, we know this audience is aware of the truth about a lot of the stuff that we see, but that's, wow. Is there more information on that, or is that, wow, we're going to have to dig into that, I think.
You could contact the missionary personally if you wanted to. And it's funny, he's 300 miles into the jungle, but I think you could do a podcast with him via Skype or something.
Definitely, wow, that's amazing. We got one more story we were just talking about after we turn it off, so I got to have you go back into that.
Okay, well, I can do that. One of the things that amazed me in traveling with Chief Shoefoot was how he could discern evil, how he could discern spirits. Matter of fact, one lady brought her grandson and said, "I think my son is demon possessed. Would you pray over him?" And he laid hands on that little boy, and that kid started screaming and frothing at the mouth and trying to bite him. And finally he calmed down, and Shoefoot just kept praying through the whole thing. And when they left, I said, "Shoefoot, was that a demon?" And he said, "Nope, that kid just needs a good spanking." So discerning, the spirits. Well, when he was traveling here in the States, there was a Christian student group at one of the major universities that decided as a fundraiser they would put together a spook house.
A haunted house.
A haunted house, yeah. And so they put this thing together, and it was well attended. And just for fun, Shoefoot was there, and just for fun they said, let's go check this out and see what Shoefoot thinks about it. As soon as he saw the house, he said, "I know who lives there." He knew the demon's name, whose house that was. He said, "I used to visit that house when I was a witch doctor."
Wow.
And he said, I would go in spirit, and he described the house. He said, "When we go in, there's going to be a chain on the wall over here," and described some of the different things that would be on the walls. They went in, and it was just like he said. Wow. He said, "Now we're going to go through that door, and there's a picture on the wall, and the eyes are bulging out, and they went into the hallway, and there's the picture, just as he described."
And you said that, how was this house put together?
Well, that's what he asked. He said, I thought you didn't know what the spirits looked like, and how is it that you can recreate, and he said the demon's name, how could you create his house like this?
Yeah.
And the guy just said, I just Googled it on the internet.
Wow.
And how to build a haunted house,
And he had been there in the spirit realm, you said.
Well, Shoefoot had, but the guy,
right.
he was just getting information off the internet.
Right, yeah.
You know.
So, and that's the thing, is a lot of people are messing with this stuff, like you mentioned about Pokemon and the haunted houses and these different things, and they don't really realize what they're messing with.
Well, Shoefoot talks about meeting with the leader of all the spirits down in the rainforest in Venezuela, and how powerful he was. And then he said, but then one day he left, and he told all of the spirits and all the witch doctors that he was going to the land of the foreigner to teach them.
Really?
I just wonder where he landed.
Wow. Now, you're still traveling around a lot, so I mean, tell people how they can follow what you're doing and support you and what you're doing.
Well, my name's Don Shire. The ministry is dsminternational.org is our website. And Don Shire Ministries is how it started out, but now our ministry has gone way beyond just me going to places, but we have orphanages, we have ministry to widows, and so we're in several different countries, and I have a staff now that's with us full time, and Haiti, India, Ukraine, Poland, Honduras, and other places. And so you go to the website and you can find out more about those things.
And what was the website again?
dsminternational.org.
.org. Okay, awesome. Yeah. Well, hey, Don, this has been amazing. We could
thank
sit
you.
here and talk for hours, but
appreciate the opportunity.